What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Miguel. You're watching Miguel EDC, the channel where we talk everything EDC gear here. Today we have a review video coming up for you guys. That's right. We are going to be reviewing this knife right here, and this is the Tuya knives. This one is called the Blackbeard V2. Blackbeard sounds like a pirate from Pirates of the Caribbean. Maybe I'm mistaken, maybe not. But that's what comes to mind when I hear Blackbeard, right? Definitely a very, very unique name. I love it, right? Gives it a little bit of personality to the knife. Of course, we are working with a modern traditional slip joint going on here. This one very interesting because it has a pocket clip, so you could basically carry it like a folder, right, in your pocket without a specific slip or what have you, which is nice. This one here is a design from Andy Theo. I believe that is the name of the designer. He got some help from Sasha, and this one is coming to us via the Tuya European brand, if I'm not mistaken. Tuya is all over the world, of course, and Dave Warren oversees the U.S. Operation, but obviously they have operations in the in Europe as well and around the world. So very, very interesting design going on here. We're gonna get into it here. We're gonna talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, everything else in between. I've had a chance to carry this knife here for quite some time, so I'm coming back to you with a comprehensive review here. I've tried to gather as much feedback as I possibly can carrying this knife to share all that with you. I got this knife via the Lefty EDC knife pass around, so shout out to Lefty. And also, I believe Dave Warren was the one that sent it into him. So shout out to Dave also for sending this out for us to all check out as well. Yeah, very, very interesting slip joint going on here. So if you love slip joints, you're going to be in for a treat on this one here. So let's get some things out of the way. Of course, this knife is linked down below. If you want to learn more details about this knife, it will be linked in the description. You can check it out for more details. All the other knives that you do see on this video will be linked down below. Some of those links are affiliate links that do help out the channel if you do purchase a knife through those links, but that is of course at no extra cost to you and obviously completely up to you as well. That being said, the Tuya Blackbeard here, let's get things started with a quick size measurement. All right, this thing comes in at a 7.75 inches overall length. What am I talking about? I need some glasses today. Oh wait, I have them on. 7.5 inches overall length here. The cutting edge is about 3 inches and 3.25 on the overall blade length, and handle is going to be about 4 and a little bit shy of 4.25 right there on the handle length. But those are your measurements. Let's do some size comparisons, of course. Let's start with the typical ones. We got the PM2 there, the Para 3, right? So this guy's going to be more Para 3 territory, right, than anything. Check it out here next to the Demko AD 20.5 and the titanium handles, shark's foot blade, and we have the 20 CV steel. This one here is the Shark Cub, also 20 CV aluminum handles. Just recorded the review on the Shark Cub, and that is live in the channel if you want to check that out. This thing is an EDC workhorse with that Shark's lock, so check that out as well if you haven't already. But the Blackbeard, right, is going to be a tad bit bigger than the Shark Cub, and it's going to be, more so comparable to the AD 20.5 as far as size goes. Perhaps maybe a 1/4 inch longer than the AD 20.5. Check out the Wrap Model 1 here, right? It's going to be quite a bit longer than the Blackbeard, and the Wrap Model 2 perhaps is a more accurate comparison, although the Tuya Blackbeard is going to be just a tad bit longer. Here's a very popular Vosteed Raccoon crossbar lock on top and the CJRB Pyrite at the bottom here. So I want to say perhaps more CJRB Pyrite territory more than anything. Check that out. And last but not least, of course, I had to, keep it in the slip joint here. We have the traditional pocket knives, Lake Champlin Barlow. We also unboxed this guy, and we also have a review on this one coming up as well. And we have the Jack Wolf's knives, the Venom, right? The Venom right here. Check it out. So the Champlin Barlow is going to be probably the best comparison right there. It's definitely on that medium to large size, full size knife. Take a look there for yourself. All right, so what do we have going on here as far as materials, right? First things first, the blade here. We have M390 on the blade here, right? This one is 60 to 62 HRC. We have a Bell satin finish going on. This one is a flat grind. Overall, it's sort of like a clip point, right? Persian clip point blade aesthetics to it, right? There is a nice fuller going on both sides, and we have titanium handles right here. It's sort of like a bee blasted titanium, sort of like has a little bit of a hint of bronze to it, which makes it pop really nice. Definitely, you know, makes it look different. So is the pocket clip as well, which is nice and straight. Titanium also. And this one is quite interesting. You're probably wondering, well, how is the action on this thing? So we have something that I haven't seen in other slip joints. We have three different half stops. We have, I guess if you go too fast, you might not catch them. So there's one, this is two, this is three, and then the full close, right? So it goes from 1, 2, 3, full open, right? And at first when I did the unboxing, I didn't quite understand why that was. I mean, I'm so used to, you know, slip joints being just one half stop, one full stop, right? Walk and talk, you know, all throughout, being so, you know, 1, 2 schwacks, if you will. But here it was a little bit different because I didn't get the sound right in any of the 3 half stops, which is interesting, right? You do get the 3 half stops, but the acoustics there are a little quiet, to say the least. And you obviously hear it when you close it or when you fully open it, right? It is, you know, definitely audible there, but the half stops are a little bit on the quiet side, to say the least. So again, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and this was intentional, right? They wanted to actually do 3 different half stops, perhaps for a fidget factor, is what I'm reading on the website. So I take that with a grain of salt. You let me know how extra fidgety it is to have 3 different half stops. For me, it does sort of affect the acoustics on the half stop. You know, the whole walk and talk of a slip joint, which is kind of one of the highlights of a slip joint versus a folding knife, but you do have that going for it, and you can sort of see here in the back how that happens too. If you pay attention through there, right, the way the blade tang is shaped, it allows for it to have those 3 different positions against the back spring. Okay, and the back spring is also pretty interesting too. It starts way up here, right? It actually loops around all the way to about where it meets the tip of the blade right in here, which by the way is nice and tucked away. They actually got the blade tip as close to the handle as they possibly could, and it tucks away nice. Still a significant portion of the blade sticking out, but you know, you still get a nice aesthetics to it. It's nice and aligned right there, smack in the middle. There's really not a lot of room for it to go anywhere else for the most part. So we have washers on this one, obviously, and the alignment right there is pretty spot on. Let's do a quick carry profile. Let's do thickness against the Champlin Barlow. Right, you guys take a look there. The Champlin Barlow is just a little bit thicker. Next to the Jack Wolf's Venom, the Venom is going to be probably pretty evenly matched, if anything. What about something like Para 3? Obviously, any modern folder is going to look thicker in comparison. Even the Demko AD 20.5, pretty spot on. And I don't know, last but not least, the Raccoon. That's going to be thicker there as well. Okay, length and height in the pocket here, we're looking at, well, it does stick out of the handle a significant portion because where the pocket clip is located, right, setting it down like this, it's a little bit challenging. So let me turn it the other way. Okay, obviously next to a Spyderco knife or something like that, still going to be a little bit narrower, right? The Spyderco knives do stick out quite a bit. Same deal with a 80-20.5. Okay, so still not the narrowest of knives, but definitely narrower than these two by comparison, right? What about something like the Barlow? Lake Champlin Barlow is going to be, I don't know, arguably a tad bit slimmer. And something like the Jack Wolf Venom, which does stick out significantly from the handle, you know, more or less around the same ballpark, right? A tad bit more, a tad bit less. Right? In either scenario, I think the one where the blade actually tucks in the most is on the Lake Champlin Barlow right here. Okay, but again, you know, just giving you a ballpark so you have a reference there as far as that goes. So my understanding here is there is no pin, and I watched Lefty EDC's video, aka Kevin. If you haven't checked out his unboxing of this knife, then definitely check that out. So what's different with this knife, and it's done in a more traditional way, is that this one has a kick, right? Kick makes reference to this portion right here that other knives don't have, and therefore if you look inside, there is no stop pin inside. Now, so by comparison, let's take a look at the Champlin Barlow here. This one doesn't have that kick as pronounced, and it does have a stub pin inside, which you can see right in there. Okay, so you sort of get, you know, a different, I guess, acoustics with it, right? With the stop pin. Let's check the Venom from Jack Wolf's and take a look here. They also don't have a stop pin from what I see, right, which is interesting. So some companies do it differently. This one has the kick right there. Okay, so, you know, the acoustics could be different with the stop pin or without, but at least it's, you know, interesting in case you were wondering, right, which ones have a stop pin and which ones don't. You know, here are some different examples. And, you know, the conclusion is that the Blackbeard does not have a stop pin, whereas the Champlin does. In case you're curious about that, there you go. So that's something to keep in mind there. Typically with traditional knives, and yeah, of course, the function of the kick right there, just like with a stop pin, is to avoid the actual edge, right? By the way, that is a very nice edge right there on that blade. Is to avoid the edge from hitting the backspring, right? So something has to stop the blade when folded so the actual edge doesn't hit the backspring. And that's the job of either the kick here or the stop pin on the, you know, on a different knife if it has a stop pin, right? So, you know, I'm not a knife guru or anything, but I just wanted to kind of go over that briefly for what it's worth, right? So we do have, let's see, the pull on this thing is maybe like a 6 or 7, right? It's easy, very nice and easy to pinch, grip, and pull. Good amount of tension there to any of those 3 half stops, and then the full open, bam, snaps right in place. This thing is, there is a tad bit of side to side, but definitely no up and down. It is not a locking knife, so obviously keep that in mind. Let's talk about ergonomics for a second. So ergonomics, ergonomically speaking, I have medium hands, so not the biggest, not the smallest, and I can get a full grip on this thing, right? Hammer grip right here, feels good. And I notice you have a little bit of a little peak right here towards the back, which sort of locks your hand in place. I can see if you had XXXL hands, maybe your pinky might hit that peak there a bit, if anything, but honestly, other than that, you should be good in most cases. The handle is not the thickest, but it's nice and contour, right? Check out the titanium here. It's nice and contour all around, so there's no, you know, no hot spots anywhere. And this pocket clip, even though it goes a little bit long, a little bit more than the 50% ratio, right? Typically we'll prefer a shorter pocket clip. The fact that it's just a straight line and it's nice and rounded too, you barely feel that in the hand at all, which is very, very nice. Very, very nice. Also the ability to carry a slip joint with the pocket clip like a regular folder knife. That's pretty neat, right? I love that also. Nice little touch right there. And no jimping on the blade here, but you know, for the most part, I don't really see a lot of jimping going on with slip joints. So that is more so, you know, a more common thing going on here. So yeah, you also don't want to put a lot of pressure here because you do know you're working with a non-locking knife, right? So, all right, blade stock thickness coming in at point, where's that? 0.12, 11 if I really squeeze on these. Yeah, 0.11. We'll go with that. Some of these are a little bit thicker here on the Champlin Barlow, 0.12. The Venom is 0.12. So yeah, typically 0.12 is more so the standard, whereas this one is a little bit slimmer than usual at 0.11. Check that out. Okay, and the overall thickness of the handle comes in at 0.42, right? That's what I mentioned earlier. It's on the slim side. In most cases, most knives aim for around ½ an inch, 0.5, right? So that's that measurement there. Let's get a good weight on this thing. It's really not too heavy and also not too light, which is great for EDC use. This guy comes in at 3.6, 3.5. Okay, when in doubt, wait until last second, right? I thought we've gone over this, Miguel. Come on now, right? So 3.5 ounces on this guy. For reference, late Champlin Barlow was 3.4. All right, just a tad bit lighter, and the Venom is 2.5. So that's the weight department right there. Is there any milling going on? I do see, yes, there's ever so slightly a slight amount of milling going on either side that I can see from here. Sorry, the light might not hit it in a way where you can see it from your end. All right, so a little bit of milling on this side and a little bit of milling on this side also. Let's also do a quick hardware check on this bad boy. As per usual, my tools are highly recommendable and linked down below in the description. They're part of the Spyderco tool set, and based on what I'm looking at, I did hear Kevin talk about these are Chicago screws, right? They do have the screw head on one end only, and there's no visible screw on the other side. Just basically like a show side is basically all covered up, or Chicago screw style. And from what I see on the pivot here, let's start with a T8 for the pivot. Yeah, that is a nice T8 right there. And we are looking at, I believe, T6. T6 everywhere else. So there's one body screw and one pocket clip screw right there, right? So that's about it as far as the hardware check. So two takeaways right there. First of all, obviously for a premium knife, we would have wanted to see T8 or bigger hardware. So a T8 all around would have been appreciated more than the, T6, obviously. And the second thing is the pocket clip is deep carry, about this much. So it's a decent amount of knife hiding away with this pocket clip. And it's not reversible. So it's only designed for tip up, right side carry only. And it is not reversible. So keep that in mind. I'm not sure if they make a lefty version or not, but something to keep in mind if you are a lefty out there. I'm looking at the overall quality, fit and finish. There's nothing necessarily out of place. The build quality is really, really good from what I can see. And the titanium here, again, it has this sort of bronze aesthetics to it. To me, it looks like it's patinaed really good. So I see more shine here, less shine there. Right, so I'm wondering if that's part of that bronze coating, if it's just getting patina really nice. Yep, definitely titanium there. Right, sort of gives it like a goldish finish to it, which is pretty nice, very interesting. Adds a little bit more character. It does have a little bit of a orange peel, right, bee blasted finish to it, right, for the most part, which looks really, really nice. Okay, and yeah, other than that, I mean, this is a pretty neat slip joint here. It's on the bigger full size. I think for the most part, just want to take note of the fact that it has those 3 half stops, so it's going to be slightly different than your half stop, full stop like you're used to on a slip joint. The walk and talk is going to be slightly different, but other than that, everything else functions just as expected. And this thing cuts, right? This thing really cuts really nicely. Let's do a couple of cutting tests here, if you will. Very scientific cutting tests, by the way, right? Check out them slices, right? Some swirls going on. This thing has seen some use, of course, as part of lefty knife pass around, and so it is nowhere near sharp or as sharp as it is out of the box. And this thing is slicing as if it was just brand new out of the box. That's how good this thing is, honestly. Yeah, I don't know what it is lately. I might have to run some scientific testing, I guess. Scientific testing, but I'm noticing that these lip joints are sharper than some of the folding knives that I own. Like, all jokes aside, these are some of the sharpest knives that I've seen recently, and I'm really impressed, to say the least. So we know we can do paper. What about some cardboard? Now I have a dual wall cardboard here, right? Typical everyday cardboard, but 2 walls is a little bit thicker than just single wall cardboard. And we're gonna be cutting through it, slicing through it. Keep in mind, when cutting cardboard, don't cut perpendicular like this, but at an angle. And it will look something like this. There you have it, folks. Let me know in the comments, how sharp is this thing? I really don't think this thing needs a strop anytime soon. This thing is just still holding a pretty insane edge. So that tells you a thing or two about the heat treatment. Again, 60 to 62 HRC on that M390. And this thing can slice. That flat grind with that bell satin finish is not just a looker, it's also a performer as well. All right, you guys let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. Well, there you have it, guys. That is the Tuya Blackbeard. I'm gonna give her a nice little wipe here after getting some action so you guys can see it once again. Nice and shiny right there. I still think that bell satin finish is probably one of my favorite all-time finishes on the blade. No doubt about that. By the way, there's a nice little switch right here going on at the top also. Bell satin finish as well. You have the little anchor right there, which I'm assuming is probably Andy Thiel's design, perhaps. It does say 1878, so that's it's been a minute since that year for sure. And then you have the Tuya logo on this other side, and that's about it, right? I like that they didn't even print the steel. I had to look that up. It is M390. There's no other crazy billboarding going on, so on that department it looks very nice, very, very elegant. Can I do it one-handed? Yeah, I sure can. There we go. Yeah, very, very solid slip joint here, premium. This one comes in at $209. It is available. I believe last time I checked while I was carrying this knife, it was available. I will be linking everywhere that it is available down below, starting with the actual Tuya website, of course. Yeah, check out those links there if you want to learn more about the knife, or if you eventually end up picking one up for yourself and you do it through those links. It does help out the channel at no extra cost to you. But honestly, I'm really impressed with this knife. I like it quite a bit, really. And if there was just a Warncliffe or sheep's foot version of this knife, honestly, that would be the cherry on top. I really had a great time with the Lake Champlin Barlow here with the sheep's foot blade or Warncliffe blade it has going on. And this one was another great performer right here with that hollow ground going on. So yeah, the more time goes forward, the more and more I am considering and really falling in love with slip joints. I'm actually loving the dual carry, where I carry a, you know, regular folding knife, right, alongside with a traditional pocket knife as well. By the way, this one is the American Blade Works Model 2. Check out the unboxing on this one. There's the review on this one's coming up as well. But there you have it, guys. Highly recommend the Tuya Black Bear V2. Check it out. Definitely has something different going on with those 3 half stops. Very different than your typical, you know, slip joints or traditional folding knives. More modern, going for that modern traditional aesthetics. Obviously with the premium materials, $209 or so is the price that I saw. Always check those links to see if there's any discounts or sales going on. Guys, let me know what else you want to know about the Tuya Black Bear. What other questions do you have about this knife? Let me know in the comments. Let's have a discussion down there, right? Any other questions you may have, I'll be happy to answer those for you. Don't forget to smash that like button. If you made it to this point in the video, first of all, you're the real MVP, and I appreciate you so much for hanging out with me this entire time. Smash that like button if you haven't already. It does help this video reach a larger audience. And also subscribe to the channel if you aren't already subscribed. I make knife content like this on an ongoing basis. I promise you'll be worth coming back for more. And if you want to support the channel a step further, there's a link for Patreon down below, or you can simply support the channel by becoming a member right here on YouTube, and you'll get access to exclusive perks. Thank you guys for your love and support. I really love you all. Thank you so much. Check out the unboxing on the American Blade Works Model 2. If you haven't already, I'll put a card for this knife video here, unboxing video right there. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care. Peace.